Welcome to another episode of the Tobago House of Assembly's Post-Executive Council Media Briefing. This week, the Secretary of Community Development and Culture, Dr. Denise Soefat Angus, and the Secretary of Finance and Enterprise Development, Joel Jack, addressed to the media.
Again, God has been merciful to us, and we have had no report of any major damage. But I was in my office at the time, and I really felt the effects of that 6.2 earthquake, and I share the heart-rendering experience with your colleague here who posted the video on Facebook. But I think it's a wake-up call and a reminder for all of us to continue to be vigilant, ensure that we are prepared, and also that, that we are ready for any eventuality, any disasters here in Tobago. And we continue to work with the Tobago Emergency Management Agency to ensure that all of Tobago, that we're prepared for any eventuality. I'm also pleased to report today that the Tobago House of Assembly, we have received our quarterly funding from the central government following the passage of the 2017 appropriation bill. We have received funds totaling $509.5 million for recurrent expenditure, and we have received $72.1 million for development program expenditure. This would follow our quarterly release for the last quarter of 2016 for the period July to September. And again, we can anticipate quarterly releases from the central government. I'm also pleased to announce this afternoon that following our deliberations at the Executive Council, we continue to plan in the midst of the challenging economic environment. And the Executive Council, we have committed to a number of priority projects in fiscal 2017. Please permit me to highlight a few of these projects for fiscal 2017 as it relates to tourism investment. We are committed to the delivery of Manta Lodge. The tendering process has started, and I'm informed that work is scheduled to commence later next week. I know that work will commence next week, but definitely before the end of the month of September. We also committed to the Buckle Beach redevelopment program. That program will commence in phases, and this program will result in the refurbishment and beautification of the Buku area to add to the world-class facility, the Buku Integrated Facility. So again, we will see the beautification of that area. We also committed to funding the Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute, as well as the Scarborough RC School. Additionally, paving and road resurfacing program will commence shortly, weather permitting. We will continue the pace of infrastructure development across the island. We are also committed to the completion of the Charlottesville Mini Mall, and I'm informed that work continues apace towards the completion of this project. Additionally, our Coastal Zone Protection Program, underscoring our mandate as part of our policy in terms of protecting the environment and mitigating against coastal erosion and or rising sea levels. So again, we will continue our focus on our Coastal Zone Protection Program. We're also committed to a Human Resource Development Program, funding and assisting students who are desirous of pursuing tertiary education through our Department of Advisory Training Services. And as well, we committed to our economic diversification thrust that is essential during these challenging economic times. Additionally, just to name two, and my list is by no means exhaustive, but just to highlight a few of the programs, I wish as well to highlight, again, we are committed to the Integrated Waste Management Program at Studley Park and treating with the issues of managing our waste at the landfill. And additionally, we're committed to treating with the issues of housing and delivering affordable housing to the 7,500 applicants that we have on file here on the island. I'm also pleased to announce that it was in October of this year, October 21st to be a bit precise, that I had the pleasure, Secretary with responsibility for Finance and Enterprise Development, to commission the Andes Company Limited bottling plant at Cove. Let me see that the Tobago Venture Capital Company Limited has continued to live up to its mandate to transform and diversify the Tobago economy with an investment of 1.5 million TT dollars. This resulted in the acquisition of equipment, and necessary equipment to operationalize the beverage bottling facility at the Cove Eco Industrial and Business Park. Let me commend Mr. Andrews for his decision, again, to bring this product back home. And those of us who might be not so young would remember growing up, our grandparents, ensuring that the Andes cherry nectar, that product was a staple in all of our households here in Tobago. And we look forward to further expansion of this Tobago brand and expansion of the product, facilitating export, and of course the earning of much needed foreign exchange. I'm also pleased to announce that I hosted a meeting with the newly appointed High Commissioner of Canada to Trinidad and Tobago, High Commissioner Ms. Carla Hogan-Ruffels. She paid a courtesy call to the Tobago House of Assembly in early November, and I had the opportunity to meet with her personally in the Division of Finance and Enterprise Development. Let me say that again, the High Commissioner has picked up from her predecessor, and she has picked up the baton, and she has signaled her intention to continue to work with the Tobago House of Assembly and to work with the Division of Finance and to build upon the strong relationship that we have in the past with His Excellency, the former Ambassador, Mr. Gerard Latulippe. Let me say that I must thank Mr. Latulippe for his respect for the Tobago House of Assembly and for his decision to focus on Tobago and not to leave Tobago behind in a number of his initiatives. You may recall previously that I reported to you the assistance of the Canadian High Commission in facilitating members of staff of the Tobago House of Assembly to participate in a statistics workshop jointly funded by Stats Canada and the World Bank, and as well as facilitating our efforts in launching our public-private partnership unit in a division. Let me say that Commissioner Hogan-Ruffels indicated her support for our key initiatives in the division, including improving and building out our statistical data collection capacity and additional exercises that will enable our agro-processors and clients in the division they will assist us in trade facilitation and as well assist some of our agro-processors in penetrating the Canadian market. She also pledged continued support and technical assistance for public-private partnership initiative. And she also pledged her support of leveraging her environmental expertise in the area of sustainable development. And we also looked at the prospects for private sector engagement in climate change, adaptation, and mitigation through our multilateral partners. Let me say that I anticipate and indeed I look forward to a very healthy and an excellent working relationship with Her Excellency. I'm also pleased to announce that during the month of November, a team from the division, they were part of a national delegation to Cuba for the 34th Havana Annual International Trade Fair 2016, hosted by the Cuban Ministry of Foreign Trade and Investment. The week-long exposition brought together global businesses and trading organizations, along with 251 Cuban export enterprises and exhibitors. Given the restoration of the political relationship between the United States and Cuba, and as well given our long-standing relationship with Cuba, that is Trinidad and Tobago, we have seen an expansion of trade relations, the reengineering of the global perception of Cuba, increased bilateral relationships, and strengthening of regional partnerships. While we await the full realization of the Caribbean single market and economy, Tobago can benefit from this Caribbean integration by engaging the region's largest country and largest food importer. In addition to agro-processors, several of our business persons and entrepreneurs in the field of fashion and home furnishing they were also well received, and we'll be pursuing these opportunities both for export and for sourcing new materials. The Division of Finance will continue to work with our clients through the Business Development Unit and other stakeholders to leverage the potential of these relationships. And you might recall that this mission forms part of our continued effort to facilitate our clients at the Business Development Unit to penetrate the export markets. And this visit to Cuba also comes on the heels of recent missions to Miami, to New York, to Canada, as we seek to ensure that we give our entrepreneurs and agro-processors the opportunity to really penetrate the export market. Let me also say, how happy I am for our members of staff, the administrator and the other members of staff for their diligent hard work and the success at our recently concluded Finance Week celebrations. Our annual Finance Week activities are usually held during the second week of November, and you might recall that these events include the Tobago Economic and Business Outlook Conference, our Youth Empowerment Forum, and a number of other staff-related activity. And I'm proud also to mention our two flagship projects this year that form part of our corporate social responsibility initiative. That is our donations to the Happy Haven School and also our Haiti collection drive. And I must say that I was really impressed not only by the level of discourse at the Economic Outlook Conference, and I must thank my dear friends and facilitators who took the time off to be with us. Early in the morning, we had Mr. Jason Julian, Mr. Wendell Motley, former Minister of Finance, former executive on Wall Street, and we also had a number of other persons, former Deputy CEO of First Citizens, Ms. Sharon Christopher. And, I must thank all our stakeholders for participating and supporting the division during our Finance Week activities. Let me say that I was equally impressed a little bit more impressed with the turnout at our youth forum. I must commend the young people for coming out and participating. I think I must say that we are looking at new and creative industries, and I think one of the highlights of the day was our father-son entrepreneurship session, where we saw the persons who started the business, the entrepreneurs of the first generation, talking about how they were able to overcome and some of the constraints to doing business, and how they were able to hand over the business to the next generation. Additionally, we had young persons who are doing a number of interesting things in agriculture, the creative arts, ICT. There was one young man, Mr. Sekani Solomon, who coincidentally is from my electoral district of Hope. But he's doing, he has worked in Hollywood, and he's doing a number of exciting things in the international market in terms of graphic and the motion picture industry, motion picture and film industry. And he really made an impact on the young people, indicating that he started doing, just fooling around with the computer, getting into graphics, and now he's really he has his own company, and he's doing well in the motion industry. So again, thanks to all the young people for participating, and let me say that we will continue to engage the young people as we continue to develop a cadre of indigenous entrepreneurs as part of our economic diversification and economic expansion program.
The plans for Carnival 2016 is on the way. The Carnival Committee, under the chairmanship of Mr. George Leacock, has been working diligently on the plans for an exciting Carnival season. The committee has put forward a comprehensive budget, which is currently under review by the administrator for transmission to the Executive Council. And in the budget, the committee was charged with the responsibility of ensuring that the greatest possible part of that funding would go towards the special interest groups for prizes and the production grants. The budget is also expected to streamline the activities so that there will be savings towards new initiatives. And that plays itself out in regards to us having launched as we would have in previous years. We are not having that type of launch that would be staged, but they will launch through a media briefing. And in addition to that, in January, there will be a collaboration between the division itself, Festival Commission, and Calypso Rose, where a concert will be hosted, and the band leaders and various special interest groups will be included in the production at that time in around January 7th. The Carnival Committee will start working on implementing a universal event planning framework that will be employed for every Carnival event across the board. The system will ensure compliance with financial regulations and avoid, in particular, last-minute expensive purchases. The Festival Commission has been mandated to continue the implementation of a procurement system compliant with the financial regulations. In this context, a training program on the standard procurement practices and systems will again be held for staff and committee members involved in the coordination of our major festivals. The Carnival Committee will be hosting, as I said, the media briefing this Friday, and they will update you further on the details of Carnival 2017. Almost 200 Tobagonians have been benefiting from free conversational Spanish, cuatro, violin, and percussion classes held right here in Tobago at the Division of Community Development and Culture, and also at a couple of our community centers across the island. This is as the result of a collaborative framework between the Division of Community Development and Culture and the Venezuelan Embassy. At the division, we have been extremely happy with the response to these classes. Enrolled in these classes are participants representing a wide cross-section of Tobago, including secondary schools, our tour guide operators, and even many senior citizens. I am optimistic that more Tobagonians being able to converse in Spanish will be of significant benefit to our tourism sector and will certainly enhance the island's earning potential. It is also expected that training on the musical instruments will see improved performances by our musicians for the Tobago Heritage Festival and even increase the number of parang events that we have on the island. In fact, coming out of this, more parang bands based in Tobago and persons throughout communities across Tobago should now feel comfortable playing the cuatro and singing parang songs. The division recently, within the last week, graduated over 600 persons coming out of our vocational skills training program and Arts Push program. This year, due to the economic constraints, we made a decision to actually have a combined graduation program for both training graduates. And therefore, this was a program held just last week, and it was one where it was not just about handing out certificates, but quite a comprehensive display of the work that the graduates would have done during the 9 months, 6 to 9 months of being in the various classes. So you saw the display of the persons who performed in culture, you know, the ballroom dancing, the soaps, the draperies, upholstery, all of those activities, the classes that we would be training persons in, and of course the confectionaries. And so 600 persons graduated in that cycle. We congratulate them and wish them well and hope that it is not just taking the class for a hobby, but some of them may consider augmenting their and improving their quality of life by using these skills as part of a business. I am happy to report that the division recently launched our mobile app called My Tobago. The app is available on both Android and Apple devices free of charge. My Tobago is a comprehensive app which provides historical and current information about our communities across Tobago, as well as information on skilled labor, hotel and guest houses, tourist sites, and dining in various communities. It is also expected to be an interactive tool to improve communication with our stakeholders. And also there's the availability to our entrepreneurs for advertising. The app also provides information on training programs being hosted by the division, as well as cruise ship arrivals and major events taking place in Tobago. Let me take this opportunity to encourage all of you to download the app. As part of observances to mark the Tobago Day 2016, the Division of Community Development and Culture hosted a number of activities. This included a customer staff appreciation week and featured even a Christmas Creole market. The Creole market allowed the participants of the recently concluded vocational skills training program an opportunity to market their products and generate revenue from their new skills. The division also hosted film shows for our students and staff highlighting Tobago's rich cultural heritage. This was well received by all involved. Over the last few months, the division has been engaged in refurbishment and upgrades to many of the community facilities across Tobago. These works have been completed within the specified period and within budget and can now be utilized by residents of Tobago. Recently, we would have commissioned the Mount Pleasant Community Center, where they got a brand new kitchen, an industrial type kitchen. The Hope Center, where majorly they got their stage upgraded and dedicated computer spaces. Of course, this is part of a comprehensive upgrade to the whole facility, including painting and some roofing, addressing roofing and plumbing challenges. The Goodwood Center was also upgraded. WIM Community Center. This evening, we will be commissioning the Canaan Bonaccord Community Center in their Phase 1 activity, where the center was actually widened and upgraded. We know that for a long time they have had challenges with the center in terms of the leakages and the size of the facility. So hopefully the residents will be happy with that commissioning this evening. The Cats and Jammers Pan Theatre, Carib Dixieland, also has had an expansion to their Pan Theatre. And tomorrow we will be commissioning the My Tobago facility at GNV Place, opposite the Market Square in Scarborough. The My Tobago facility will provide an opportunity for the products produced in Tobago to be available under one roof. It will provide an opportunity for many of the graduates of our vocational skills training program to generate income for themselves and further develop the skills they acquired at the training. In addition, we will also include the cultural practitioners to provide entertainment outside of the facility. My Tobago facility will be one of the stops for our cruise ship passengers and is expected to attract many of the tourists who visit our island, since it will be a centralized area for them to acquire memorabilia and other local products while they enjoy the culture. The launch of that facility will take place tomorrow at 2 p.m. Despite the constraints with funding with this year's budgetary allocation, we have to commend the Executive Council, the Tobago House of Assembly, for ensuring that we still continue to have some predictable way in which to maintain our facilities. And therefore, the Bell Garden Community Center, that community needs to be assured that Bell Garden is still considered a priority and has been allocated the funding in terms of going forward with putting up the new center. Additionally, Signal Hill, Scarborough Community Center, Mount Grace Community Center, and a few others will go through extensive refurbishment works. Beginning mid-December, drivers at the Division of Community Development and Culture will begin working on a shift system. As you're aware, the division hosts a number of events that occur outside of the usual 9-to-5 schedule. After discussions with the union representing the workers, it was agreed that the shift system will be implemented. This is expected to result in a more predictable work schedule for our drivers and will result in the reduction of the administrative costs associated with the overtime.
Thank you for staying with us for the Tobago House of Assembly's Post-Executive Council Media Briefing for the week ending December 10th, 2016.